And the chief host is Mrs. Rolly Neri Udwaha, my dear wife. This is a women's program, and she's the one hosting all of us. I want to welcome everyone to this program. And let me thank you all for coming. A few years ago, I think it was this day that invited two former heads of states. One, George Bush, former president of America. I think the other was John Major, former British prime minister. And in the course of discussion, the two of them agreed that as heads of their various governments, if they wanted results for very difficult tasks, they usually look for a woman to give that task to. They agreed. The second thing they also agreed on was that when they get to the office in the morning, the women in the office, when they see them, "Oh, Mr. President, you are looking very bright today." Or the woman will say, "Oh, Mr. President, what's wrong? You are not looking too good today." But the men will come and say, "Ah, Mr. President, you are looking very well," even when he's looking sad. Now, what were they trying to say? That the women will tell you the way it is. The men will play politics with it. Whether you are looking good or not, the men will play politics. And I tell you that that little politics that described in the office is also the general politics that men and women play generally outside, that has prevented women, especially in Nigeria here, from attaining the number that they would have attained in the political field. Because the men, we male politicians, we can maneuver our way. We can say the way it is not. We can blackmail. We can and find our way there. But you know, it's difficult for women to do the same. And so we have limited them to 35%. But I'm happy that they are moving beyond 35%. So it's a man's world. But women are pushing ahead with their natural innocence beyond where we have limited them as men. And I'll tell you that sometimes we use fellow women to limit the women themselves. I'm sure Ms. Aneni will agree with me. Abi, we use fellow women to limit women. If we don't want any woman to attain a particular position, especially during an election, just field another woman there. And you have blocked her. So for women to win in a man's world, first, they must continue with their innocence. Two, the women must agree that working together, they have to win. The women must agree. And the only way they can agree, the only way we can deal with that is by refusing that they should be manipulated by men against their fellow women. We must agree on this. That women must refuse to be manipulated by men against their fellow women. I was just having a discussion with the majority leader this morning, who contested to be Speaker of the House of Rep. Not all the women in that house voted for her. Abi Speaker, Honorable. Not all the women in that house voted for her. It doesn't matter whether she would have won or not, but it would have been better for all the women to have voted for her. So women, you must come together to be able to win in a man's world. And it's possible. Because we have countries where their parliament, over 50%, they are women. Party chairmen, women. Today, we are talking about 35%. For me, that is limitation. Women should not limit themselves to just 35%. They should look beyond 35% and be able to bring out their capabilities. And with that, can win in a man's world. For us in Delta, we recognize the abilities of women to produce results. And we have given them very key positions in the state government. And they are winning. And they are producing results. Apart from the state government, I also know that Delta women, even outside the state, are making their mark everywhere. Today, our keynote speaker, Ms. Evelyn Oputu, of course, we know she has been this and been that, and she has made her mark in the corporate world of Nigeria. Today, she retired gracefully as the Managing Director of Bank of Industry. We salute you. We are proud of you. Today, we have the Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Dr. Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, who is also from Delta. And she's making her mark. She's doing well. She's a woman we are proud of. So Delta women will not carry last, Abi. Today we have a Blessing Okagbare who is making her mark internationally in the sporting arena. And following very closely is another little girl who is less than 20 years, Ese Brume, who is also the Commonwealth long jump champion. And we have many of them like that in the sporting arena. So Delta has a lot of women in and out that are making us very proud. And for us as a government, we will support them, we'll give them the maximum support for them to attain their potentials. We are gathered here working very closely with the Sun newspapers to see how we can encourage more women to be the Evelyn Oputus, to be the Ngozi Iwealas, to be the Blessing Okagbare, how we can encourage them. And we are determined to encourage them. Because we believe that if we have more women attaining positions, being more involved in various positions, either in government or in the corporate world, Nigeria will be better for it. Let me make it clear that I'm not trying to run down the men. But all I'm saying is that let us at least encourage the women. And that is what we are doing with the Sun newspapers. I want to thank the Sun newspapers for agreeing to partner with us on this program. We want to assure them that in the next 3 days, we are determined